Which of the following is not true? A. People in Taiwan eat sea cucumbers. B. Dire wolves have 100% been resurrected from extinction. Or C. Chimpanzees use tools. This one is kind of hard. Keep listening to Formosa Fauna to find out which one is not true. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can learn all about the animal kingdom and become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan Hildebrand, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals and I love talking about them. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, you're in the right place. On today's agenda, we're going to talk about the resurrected dire wolves everyone is talking about as of late, Formosan black bears that have killed guard dogs and chickens very recently, sea cucumbers, Jane Goodall, and fears and phobias in dogs. Let's get started. The resurrected dire wolves have been the talk of the town as of late. How do you resurrect an extinct animal species? Let's talk about that. I will say, back several episodes ago, we talked quite a bit about de-extinction and what they were planning on bringing back, which included the dire wolves, some kind of mammoth, all of that, dodo birds. Now that it's finally happened, it's kind of shocking and has been mind-boggling so many people across the world. Long story short, Colossal Biosciences, a biotechnology company from Dallas, Texas, is claiming to have resurrected the extinct dire wolf species. According to them, it's the first time in human history that a once eradicated species has been restored through the science of de-extinction. They say that after the species' 12,500 plus year absence, the team is proud to return the dire wolf to its, in quotations, rightful place in the ecosystem. However, it's been met with some resistance from people who say it's not actually the dire wolf, just an imitation. You see, they created 3 dire wolf pups by using ancient DNA, cloning, and gene editing technology to alter the genes of a gray wolf, the prehistoric dire wolf's closest living relative. Dire wolves, which roamed North America, were much larger in size than gray wolves, with a slightly wider head, thicker light fur, and a stronger jaw. The dire wolves are even allegedly what inspired the fierce canines featured in HBO's Game of Thrones. They took DNA, they being Colossal Biosciences, from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull, then, as they put it, made 20 edits to gray wolf genes, making the gray wolf pups resemble the lost species. They relied on deft genetic engineering and ancient preserved DNA to decipher the dire wolf genome and rewrite the genetic code of the common gray wolf to match it. They even used domestic dogs as surrogate mothers to bring Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi into the world. According to Michael LePage on New Scientist, this does not mean that they have been brought back from extinction, and many agree, arguing that they're just genetically modified gray wolves instead of the extinct species. The Colossal Biosciences team says they don't care whether people call them dire wolves or not. They don't care if people call them proxy dire wolves, colossal dire wolves, or gray wolves with 20 edits. They just want people to care that they exist again, or maybe not. Colossal calls itself the world's first and only de-extinction company and has frustrated conservation groups who say that the gene-edited wolves are a part of the problem, as meanwhile, gray wolves are still struggling in the wild as they're being hunted and have lost their natural habitat. As the Wolf Conservation Center's Director of Education, Regan Downey, says, it's frustrating that there's time and energy devoted to bringing back an animal when we already have gray wolves. The gray wolves are considered a keystone species that helps keep the balance in ecosystems, and they stand to lose their federal protections as the House Natural Resources Committee passed a bill that would remove them from the endangered species list. Downey says dire wolves have obviously not adapted to the changing world of today, and that they were created without a place in the American landscape for them. Colossal Biosciences, on the other hand, asserts that conservation is at the heart of its decision-making and that its work represents an opportunity to improve ecosystem stability. But the company is also attempting to save the red wolf, which since the 1960s, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has said can keep populations of deer in check, preventing them from overgrazing, and control populations of smaller prey like raccoons and possums, which menace native birds. The 3 direwolf pups will be studied as they live out the remainder of their lives solely on a secret, protected 2,000-acre ecological preserve, complete with an extreme weather shelter and natural dens. What do you think about all this? Does this really count as de-extinction? Is this the world's first case of de-extinction? Or are these just merely genetically modified gray wolves? Let me know your thoughts by sending me an email at tristan@rti.org.tw. That is tristan@rti.org.tw. In previous episodes, we've mentioned the increased sightings of Formosan black bears in Taiwan as they have reached lower altitudes than ever seen before and have been spotted hanging around areas humans frequent. This week in the news, we have a bit of unfortunate news regarding this. In a rare and unsettling encounter, a Formosan black bear has attacked a poultry farm in the remote Zhuoxi township of Hualien County in eastern Taiwan. Over the course of 2 weeks, beginning April 11th, the bear killed 3 guard dogs and a number of chickens, sending shockwaves through the local farming community and prompting an urgent response from wildlife authorities. The attacks occurred in a mountainous area near Yushan National Park, where the elusive and endangered bear species is known to roam. The bear, identified as YNB-BB02, was part of a conservation project and had been released into the wild 4 years ago. At the time of its release, the animal was fitted with a GPS tracking collar, which has since stopped transmitting data, likely due to battery failure or collar damage, making it difficult for conservationists to monitor the bear's movements. After the first incident, the Forestry and Nature Conservation Agency issued a warning to the farm owner and installed surveillance cameras in hopes of deterring the bear and capturing footage for identification. However, no additional protective measures were implemented by the farm, and the bear returned, killing more animals during a second attack. The series of events has raised concerns among both wildlife experts and local residents. While Formosan black bears are generally shy and avoid human contact altogether, food scarcity or injury can sometimes lead them to seek out easy prey near human settlements. In this case, the presence of chickens and unguarded food waste may have attracted the bear into the area. Efforts are now underway to locate the bear and assess its health and behavior. Authorities have not ruled out the possibility that the bear may have become too accustomed to humans, a situation that complicates conservation efforts. While relocating the bear is an option, wildlife officials are prioritizing non-lethal interventions and are urging the public to cooperate. Residents in nearby areas are being advised to reinforce animal enclosures, remove food waste, and avoid leaving pets outside at night. The Forestry Bureau has also requested that any bear sightings be reported immediately to assist in tracking and managing the situation. The incident has reignited public debate about Taiwan's wildlife conservation policies and the delicate balance between protecting endangered species and ensuring the safety of local communities. The Formosan black bear, which is a national symbol of Taiwan and protected by law, is estimated to have fewer than 300 individuals remaining in the wild. For now, officials remain hopeful that the situation can be resolved peacefully and that lessons from this case will help improve future coexistence strategies between humans and Taiwan's iconic wildlife. Taiwan is an island that is 70% covered by mountains, lakes, and jungle. Taiwan's early connections to the Pacific and Southeast Asia are well established and are the basis for seeing Taiwan as an ocean nation. Did you know that over 17,000 species thrive in the deep sea where no light penetrates the ocean waves? Or that there are 38,000 different kinds of microbes in a liter of seawater? These were all discoveries made by the Census of Marine Life, a 10-year international effort that assessed the diversity, distribution, and abundance of marine life. Today we're going to talk all about sea cucumbers. Lying on the sandy seabed like giant lazy worms, sea cucumbers are far more than meets the eye. While some are attractive and look like enlarged versions of colorful sea slugs, they shoot their intestines out of their backsides, releasing a tangle of sticky threads when disturbed. Known as sea apples, purple and red sea cucumbers have hundreds of yellow tubular feet and a crown of bushy yellow tentacles. Some with fine orange spots are known as leopard sea cucumbers, and in the deep sea lives a translucent yellow species with a long tail-like feature known as the gummy squirrel. Sea cucumbers actually belong to the same group as starfish and sea urchins, and there are more than 1,000 species around the world. These creatures have made an impression on humanity for centuries as they have been part of the trade as an Asian delicacy known as tripang or bêche de mer. Typically salted and dried, they have been prized as a culinary ingredient and aphrodisiac. In Taiwan, one of the frequently eaten expensive dishes, known as Buddha jumps over the wall, can include animal ingredients such as shark fin and sea cucumber, and is named Buddha jumps over the wall because it is allegedly so delicious that vegetarian Buddhist monks would climb the walls of their temples to get some. In the 18th century, sea cucumber fishing was focused around the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia. Eventually, this expanded further into northern Australia. Today, with a strong demand from the Chinese middle class, this has gone global. Even fishers as far away as Spain have begun targeting them, and prices have only skyrocketed. These prices can be as much as thousands of dollars per kilogram for some species. However, the large demand has also seen a rise in poaching, smuggling, and in some cases, involvement by organized crime. Disappearing from the ecosystems they were once a part of, the absence of sea cucumbers has damaged some of the sand that's left behind. Just like how earthworms help support healthy soils, sea cucumbers are great bioturbators as they bury themselves in the sand and mud, aerating and mixing the sediment. Scientists have estimated that 3 million sea cucumbers live surrounding Heron Island on the Great Barrier Reef, passing 64,000 tons of sediment through their systems each year. This in turn helps squirrels grow. Not to mention over 200 species live on and inside sea cucumbers, including snails, crabs, shrimp, worms, and other sea cucumbers. Dogs versus vacuums, dogs who are afraid of getting in the car, dogs who are afraid of fireworks, and even dogs who are afraid of certain people. Fears and phobias occur for dogs much like they occur for people. What makes dogs fearful, and how can we put them at ease? Well, there is a difference that needs to be made clear between fear and phobias. Fear is generally considered a survival mechanism and often a normal, proportionate response to a particular threat or circumstance. A phobia, on the other hand, is an excessive, persistent fear of a stimulus out of proportion to the threat it poses, as explained by Stephanie Bourns-Whale, an animal behaviorist and clinical instructor at the Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine at Tufts University. Each dog responds differently to different stimuli. In some cases, dogs will quickly learn not to fear the things that they were previously afraid of. In other cases, a complete solution may be completely out of the picture, and progress will be very slow. In general, most dogs lie somewhere in the middle. As dog trainer Zach George explains, it would be unfair to expect dogs to accept everything and everyone in our lives just like humans. As he explains, some people love skydiving and others wouldn't do it for $1 million. From the dog's perspective, the vacuum cleaner, thunderstorm, or dog down the street may be the equivalent. There are some things that can be done to help out with such fears and phobias, but also remember that if a dog is so fearful that it is affecting their day-to-day life, they may be better off seeing a vet or animal behaviorist. But first, how can you tell if a dog is fearful of something? The biggest indicator is if they are suddenly reserved and skeptical looking, maybe freezing up on a leash or retreating when a certain person approaches. Symptoms to look out for include panting and salivation, tucked tail, lowered ears, gazing away, low body posture, hair raised on the shoulder, back, and sometimes tail, vocalization, yawning, lip licking, avoidance or escape, and aggression. More on why and how to solve this problem in the next segment. This segment of the show will teach listeners just like you how to train dogs, starting with the basics. Tune in each episode and you'll eventually be able to do just about anything as far as training goes. I'm referring to Zach George's Guide to a Well-Behaved Dog because he's a real professional dog trainer. I don't currently live with any dogs, but find the knowledge widely applicable as I grew up with dogs, hear people in my circle who are struggling to train their dogs, and run into stray dogs on my way home in Taiwan every day. So if you're like me and don't currently have a way to apply these methods, there's no telling when exactly they might come in handy. Today's scientist of the day. Dr. Jane Goodall is a scientist known far and wide for her work. Dr. Jane Goodall is a renowned primatologist and anthropologist, best known for her groundbreaking research on wild chimpanzees in Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania. Beginning her work in 1960, Goodall defied scientific norms of the time by naming the chimpanzees she observed and forming close bonds with them, an approach that allowed her to gain unprecedented insights into their social and emotional lives. Her discovery that chimpanzees use tools, previously considered a uniquely human trait, revolutionized the way scientists understand both human evolution and animal intelligence. It also led renowned paleoanthropologist Louis Leakey to remark, "Now we must redefine man, or accept chimpanzees as human." Beyond her fieldwork, Goodall has become a global advocate for wildlife conservation and animal welfare. She founded the Jane Goodall Institute in 1977, which supports research, education, and conservation efforts in more than 100 countries across the world. In 1991, she established the Roots and Shoots program, which empowers youth worldwide to engage in community service projects that address environmental, conservation, and humanitarian issues. Today, Roots and Shoots operates in over 140 countries, involving nearly 150,000 youth and making a positive impact on their communities. Dr. Jane Goodall's lifelong dedication to understanding and protecting chimpanzees has made her one of the most influential voices in animal science and conservation. What have you seen in the news or online recently, or what have you encountered in your daily life pertaining to animals? I'd love to hear all about it, whether it's an encounter that you had out in the wild, or a new pet that you've gotten, or something that you've seen in the news about this de-extinction. I would like to hear all about it. Please send me an email at tristan@rti.org.tw. That is tristan@rti.org.tw. Making it to the end of an episode makes you a Formosa Fauna friend. Thank you for tuning in, friend. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.